Okay, I like that one better. All right. That's more true. Anyway, yesterday was really frustrating because I don't know how many people watching this have looked at my previous, videos that I've posted, but on YouTube. But if you know me personally, then you know what's been going on pretty much. If you don't know me personally, I'm gonna sum it up real fast. I have gone through, some years of major depression because of a loss of someone, the death of my youngest daughter. Okay, so that is pretty much the catalyst that messed my mind up for a while. So since then, I've had to deal with the depression and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. But, in the back of my mind, there's always the, eventually I'm going to have to get off of disability. Eventually, I'm going to have to, get back to the world of work. And it's just real hard. So anyway, I've always had this dream of being self-employed. I mean, like fully self-employed, not depending on anything coming in from a job. A job meaning a W-2 on the payroll. They get to tell me what I have to do and how long I have to do it. I don't want any more of those, because after what I've been trying to recover from, this depression took me out. So I am, I've got most of it, under control, yes. But long story short, that's why sometimes I feel like I'm starting from the ground up again. Because in some ways, especially with my mental health and the depression and the anxiety that comes along with it, sometimes it can be a long ass road. So I'm gonna need my charger, because this is about to go. I'm feeling a story come on. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get my charger. I gotta pause for a sec. Okay. Back to what I was saying. I was trying to keep the story short, but I'm now in the recovery process. The depression is well under control. The anxiety is pretty much, I haven't had an anxiety attack in a while. So, I mean, the onset of the pandemic, yeah, that one kind of messed me up for a minute. Plus, sitting on pins and needles, waiting to see if they were going to get Trump ass out of office. That was stressful. That was anxiety ridden, let me say. And because the primary election, which was very important to my mental health journey, because the primary election for president, the one that happened in 2020, that election happened at the beginning of November, which coincides with the day of my daughter's passing. So I'm already in a real sensitive place when November rolls around, because it's simply a reminder of, the worst thing that has happened to me. My mom is still living, so up till now, it's the worst thing that has happened to me. So, that election was really stressful because I wanted Trump out of office so bad. I mean, from 2016 to 2020, I really, 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 that was just like on the back of my mind, attached to everything, was I cannot wait until this man is out of office. He monopolized the news. He stressed me the hell out. Trump did. As president. I mean, he really, 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 really stressed me the hell out. So 2016 and through 2020, I was already dealing, because having a president who dominated the, everything, every aspect of the news, you know, every day for 4 years with his bullshit and foolishness, and having to watch that because you can't get away from it, just stressed me out. Trump was just, I feared for the sake of our entire country while that man was in office. He was really just the worst person ever to be in such a position of power. I mean, he really, don't get me started on Trump. Anyway, I'm saying that to say that my mental health journey hit a massive road bump in 2020 November, because I was so stressed out and looking forward to that election, and to, hoping that Biden could get the presidency, because I just couldn't deal another day with Trump. And so, yeah, November was a rough month in 2020 for me, because Trump in office directly affected my income. Okay. He changed some tax laws. He messed up some write-offs that you can get as an independent, worker, because I work for myself. Well, he cut off a whole bunch of stuff that I could have written off. And he changed the parameters of what you can write off, when you are estimating your expenses on your taxes. And that cut into my income real deep. So no, I wasn't happy with him. He directly affected my money when he made that change. And then his handling of this pandemic stressed me out that much more, because I was deathly afraid of that damn virus. It scared the hell out of me. I have lived through a number of epidemics, but this one hit me so hard. The COVID scared me so bad. I literally became a true 100% in my cave, way in the back hermit. I couldn't make myself leave home for months. I was just scared. I was just on pins and needles all the time, because I was watching the numbers and it was scaring the shit out of me. So yeah, Trump really, really, really was a massive speed bump in my mental health journey, because I was up to then, I was doing all right. I mean, because, Obama, my baby died in 2013. So at that time, Obama was, still in office. So, I was on a high note. Okay, that brought me a whole lot of, wow, that was a historical moment. And it helped me just knowing that Obama was in office in the White House and him and Michelle was making decisions. That was like, I was 100% on top of that. But when Trump came in and just immediately hit the ground running with writing off a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, he changed a lot of stuff in the tax laws that really affected independent people like myself. So yeah, I was stressed out because he was messing with my ends. So yeah, November 2020 election was massive for me. And when Biden won it, I just felt this huge burden lift off of my shoulders, because I was that stressed over Trump being our president. It just, I couldn't abide it. I couldn't. The whole thought was just too much for my mind to deal with. But I'm still dealing with the depression. I'm still, I'm still recovering from the loss of my child. And I have come to realize that you don't ever actually recover from that. You just get used to the new normal. But you never, ever, ever, ever will get over the loss of a child, especially one that you have lived with and loved and suffered with and took care of and fell totally in love with your child for 22 years, and then suddenly her asthma, she had an attack that just she couldn't recover from, and she just her lungs collapsed and she stopped breathing, and there was nothing they could do. They intubated her, but there was no saving her because she went into a coma because she had been without oxygen for too long. And, you know, the EMPs and the firemen and everything, just, they simply could, by the time they got here, you know, too much time had passed. And so they worked on her and they tried, but they couldn't revive her. I went to work that morning. I went to bed the night before just fine. She went into work at midnight because they were doing inventory at Forever 21 where she worked. So it was an inventory night and she had to go to work at midnight. So I remember sitting up because I used to sit up and wait for her to leave to go to work, you know, every day. I just did. She was my baby. She was my heart, my soul. And we just had this beautiful, beautiful relationship. And then one night, I said goodbye to her, kissed her, goodbye, and told her to have a good night. And I would see her in the the next day, because when she got off at 8 in the morning, I was already gone to work. So I wasn't going to see her until the next evening when I came home from work. Well, I went to bed that night. Everything was normal. I kissed my baby. Thankfully, I got to say, "I love you" to her. Those were the last words she heard me say. "I love you, baby. Please be careful. I will see you soon." And I didn't. That was the last. Because she died. From the day that I got that phone call from my other daughter, who was absolutely in shock and panicked, called me to let me know what was going on. And from that moment, November 5th, 2013, from that moment to September 2021, that whole block of time for me was simply a daily effort to keep going. It was just, it was work just to function every day. It was hard because grief will do that to you. And the depression that follows that level of sustained grief, that's a rough road. That's a rough road. And I've been on it for years now. And I have finally come to understand that you never, ever, ever get over losing a child. I don't care if that baby was died within minutes of birth, and you only held it for 3 seconds before they had to take it from you to try and save its life. I don't care if you held that baby for 3 seconds or you loved them for 45 years. It doesn't matter. When your kid dies, your child, because you will never see them as anything else other than my child. I don't care how old you get. You are somebody's child. You matter greatly to someone. And if something ever happens to you, that person never gets over it. Your mom will never get over losing you if you go before she does. She'll never, ever stop grieving for you. And that's just the truth. My eyes are getting wet, but I have to say this because it's part of my healing and I need to get it out. And talking to a therapist is not cheap. Mine is $70 for every hour that I get to talk to her about what's on my mind. Because she doesn't talk to me, she lets me do all the talking. She simply guides the conversation. So here's the deal. I can give myself therapy with my Samsung camera and YouTube. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know who else is going through this. I know I'm not the only one. No matter how much you feel like you're so alone in your grief, you're not. You're not the only one. You just feel like you are. You just feel it. That's how it feels. And I'm happy now that I can actually talk about it and in full, clear sentences, and I can put my thoughts together because I struggled with that. Mental depression messes your mind up. I mean, you can't really think clearly because you just got this gray muck in your brain messing with every happy thought you could possibly have because it won't let you get past something that was terrible to you. And no matter what kicked your depression in, it doesn't matter what kicked it in. Everybody has their own trigger for their depression. It's not the same for everyone. It's not the same. I really should be doing this live because I'm right now I'm in a minute, and this is really therapeutic for me right now. I need to make sure I hashtag this mental health. I need to put on their depression. I need to put on their, AM, whatever it is, ASMR, because I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but, I need to hear it. So I'm just saying it aloud so I can process. Because if you keep everything in here and you don't say nothing, you don't vent, you'll blow up. You'll either blow up or you'll shrivel away and it'll eat you to death, literally. I have learned what it means for a person to die of grief. I get it now. I didn't get it when I was a teenager and reading those stupid, Regency romance novels and all that mess. And the author references this person and the loss of whomever it was as, oh, she died of grief. And I used to go, how the hell you gonna die of grief? That just doesn't make sense to me. Well, you know what? I should have never challenged it, because I should have never questioned that. How is that possible? Because you know what? Now I know. I know exactly how you can die of grief. I know. Been there. Literally, I mean, truly, honestly, we all know I didn't die, but I got awful close. I got awful close. Because you just get to this point where you miss this person so very, very much. And you love them so deeply. And you were so attached to this person, your child, this baby, because you can't stop remembering when you first met this child, and you met them at the hospital when you birthed them, and you fell in love that moment. And then over the years of taking care of your children and loving your children and just being a mom, you grow, you should grow to really, really love and appreciate this child and this person, because you made them with their other parent. You made that baby. And they're yours. And you are very, very attached to your baby. And no matter how old they get, they're always gonna be your baby. So just, you know, if your mama calls you my baby, just let it go. Let her do it, because to her, that's who you are. And you will never be anybody else except her baby. So I learned. I did. I have to say, I absolutely learned how it is possible to die of grief. I never understood that, and I remember questioning it many times as a young person. But now I know. And it's not something that I really want to know, but, you know, you can't undo what you've been through. It's your life. It's who you are. This is yours, and you get to live it. I'm not even feeling no eyeshadow or nothing today, so I'm just gonna put my lashes on and be through. I don't even feel like doing lipstick. Yesterday was a messed up day for me. And this is where I got started, was about yesterday. Yesterday was a very frustrating day. I feel like I had a fight with a software company. And I need to explain that.